So, welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders their backgrounds, their successes, and their challenges, and what's really driving them forwards. And this afternoon, I'm delighted to have with us Gary Conway, who's the managing director at Merry England Coffee Shop. So, Gary, firstly, thank you for spending a bit of time with us. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Merry England, what you do, how you help people, that would be wonderful.
Y- Yeah, thanks very much, Chris, for speaking to us today. So my name is Gary Conway, Managing Director of MERRIE England Coffee Shops Limited. Um, we have a chain of 6 coffee shops at present, followed by a bakery where we do a lot of in-house baking ourselves for the products
Yep,
which go out into our shops. How do we help people? Well, what we like to do is like to serve our customer base as professionally and personally as possible. A good example of this is when I was in Halifax last week at a shop. One of the customers came in and we had to close for the day due to a flood in the roof due to the rain we had last week. And so that customer, unfortunately, for that day, had to go to a different coffee shop. But that customer didn't know what they ordered. So they came into us and asked, "Can you just let me know what I actually ordered? Because I don't know." So that shows
brilliant.
how that shows how personal Merry England is to people and how our staff build that relationship with the customers to the fact that they know before they even come in what they're going to order, how they're going to have it. And
Brilliant.
so that's a service which I think we like to pride ourselves on here at Merry England. And it's something we're working to build upon each time with the regular customers and any new customers who come into the shop. So we want it to be like a personal service. That's something I believe somewhere like a Costa Coffee or a Cafe Nero can't replicate, or you can't
Yep.
build it into your where you can't build it into your brand.
Yes.
Where we've got it and it's inherent and it's part of the DNA at Merry England. So, we do look after our customers. We're wanting to strive to make sure what they get is good value for money, but also is of quality ingredients.
Yeah.
So that if you're coming to us, you're getting a great drink, which is good quality. Same on our sandwich, same on our hot roast beef famous sandwich, same with our um, famous apple pie, that it's all made in-house and it's of good quality, and that you can go away where that sandwich and piece of pie you've had for the day, it's your experience of that day. It's like, you know what, I had a great sandwich this morning, I had a great piece of pie, and I had it in a great place where people know who I am and know what I like. So that's
Brilliant.
how we're trying to help people. But we're also trying to help the wider community by looking at the diverseness of our employees and looking at trying to um, uh, create opportunities for younger people as well within the business.
Brilliant, wonderful, and it's an interesting thing. I know we quite have worked with businesses that we talk about this idea of it's about the product, i.e., what you get, but it's also the experience in getting it. It's those two things make a great business when you provide not just what you said you're going to do, but it's in a way that clients like us, they know, like, and trust us, and therefore keep coming back.
Yeah, I mean, trust is one of our core values as well as great service. So we want our customers to know and trust us in what we provide to them, that we'll go that extra mile to create that memorable experience. Because each time you go for a drink in the morning or a sandwich or a slice of cake and a coffee, it's an experience. And we want them to have
Yep.
the best experience in our shops. So we are looking at, making sure that the core range of products available is consistently there and gives them that great experience, but that also any changes we potentially make in the future, it's a better experience. So a
Yep.
good example of that would be our bread that we now get, or the tea cakes, as they say in Huddersfield. The tea cakes we get are from an award-winning Yorkshire bakery,
Brilliant.
an award-winning. And all my shop managers told me historically that the bread they used to get was inconsistent.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be good, sometimes it could have been better. So the shop managers were telling me this, and they were telling us what their customers were telling them.
Yep.
So we made a decision to change our bread supplier to an award-winning uh, uh, bakery who's Yorkshire-based, and it's cost us more for that bread. But my shop managers are now telling me that the bread is tastier, it's a lot easier to cut, it's softer, The sandwiches are great, and they're getting great feedback from their customers. So, we listen to our shop managers and we listen to the customers, which are telling them. And don't get me wrong, there'll always be somebody who goes, "Well, I preferred the old bread."
Yes,
You will get that, whatever. But
absolutely.
on this occasion, when my managers and after them speaking to customers have told them that it's they feel it's better, then I think we've made the right decision there.
Brilliant.
Another example would be our custard slices. Sorry, our custard slices. We were getting them outsourced before. We now bake them in our own bakery. The ingredients is costing us nearly twice as much as what we used to buy them at, but it's a better quality product. It's actually made to a Marco Pierre White recipe.
Oh, right. Well,
Yeah. So it's a high end custard, which is people are getting, and the feedback has been fantastic, and the bakery are enjoying baking them, and we're in control of making them. And you know what, the customers really like them,
brilliant.
and it's cost us more to actually make them, and we haven't passed that price on to the customer. It's so, but we know our customers each time they have one of our new custards. There, it's freshly made, it's high quality ingredients,
Yep.
and it's the bakers have taken care to actually craft it and make it for our customers. So it's more personable, I believe.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Sounds great. Can't wait to come and visit. And now I'm definitely going to try the custard slice. Can't wait for that. Gary, if we sort of go back, sort of look back to start with and look at your background, how you got into business and what brought you to this particular one.
Well, I was born in Leeds, so I'm a Yorkshire lad. Huddersfield is obviously in Yorkshire, so I have a great affinity to Yorkshire, and I love it. I've got a big passion for Yorkshire. I've travelled and worked all around the UK, Ireland, Europe, even in the States, and within my career today. And I wanted to come back and work in a business which is Yorkshire based and try and add value to my employees who work within the business, but also to serve Yorkshire customers.
Brilliant.
And that's what I wanted to do. I've done all the traveling and been around and worked out of London. I've worked out of Madrid. I've worked in Ireland. Like I said, I've been everywhere from Mexico to the US to New Zealand, Australia on business because my background is a beer, wines, and spirit specialist,
Yes.
putting strategies in place for alcohol and building beer brands. I
Brilliant.
also built my own beer brand, which is Skinny Lager. I was the founder of that, and that's now being run by a venture capitalist company who are running that. And I always had a passion I want to be back in the north, working in the north, around the north, and supporting other northern businesses. So I've gone through the majority of our suppliers, and all of them, or the majority of them, put it this way, at least 80% are all Yorkshire based, if not 90%, Yorkshire based businesses. So we're doing business in Yorkshire. Forget this levelling up, and I don't, from a political perspective, have I seen it happening? Well, I haven't seen it filter through yet. So
No.
I'd rather just get on with doing it
Do it
myself
ourselves.
for our business, and
Brilliant.
we'll level up the north ourselves.
Fantastic.
So one of the things we're working towards is trying to become an employer of first choice in and around Huddersfield. So we're working our way through trying to become an employer who has got that badge of accreditation. We're a fair employer, and so that's what we're working towards. Because I want MERRIE England Coffee Shops Limited to be a chain of shops where people from Huddersfield and surrounding areas are very proud of.
Yeah.
And they know we're fair, they know of good quality products, and that they always get good service. So that's why I want to say so. And I'm glad to be in and around working back in the north and not having to travel around the Europe or anywhere else.
Brilliant. And so when you were growing up, is this a sort of career you saw yourself having, or did you have other aspirations at the time?
Well, originally I was going to join originally it was in the police force actually,
Right.
and then my postgrad is in business and finance and international marketing, so I flipped back into business.
Yep.
And so So, and then having started at Tetley's, which were, a Yorkshire beer brand, uh, and then it just evolved from there. Then where I ended up working for international brands, who then farmed me off to different parts of Europe and to build strategies. So the career went off in an area where I never thought it would, and it's all been brilliant. But I've always at heart wanted to come back and work in and around Yorkshire and help build a Yorkshire business and make it bigger, better, stronger, and work hard to serve the people of Yorkshire with the great and have a brand that they're proud of.
Yeah,
So
brilliant.
that's where I wanted to get to, and then fortunately I've been able to do that to date. So we are working hard behind the scenes to get this company in ship shape to where we can expand further and take this brand out of its heartland.
Brilliant, brilliant. And so far, what are some of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome?
I think the biggest challenges for us in MERRIE England has been we've taken a business over, which is a great business, and got from a great founder through to the family who owned it, and then ultimately sold it through to me. Then it was a business built on tradition,
Yeah,
got good core values, and got good quality at the heart of it. So our biggest challenges is from an infrastructure perspective in terms of um, IT and systems
right.
and procedures is catching this business up to 2024.
Yep.
So it was no disrespect to the previous owner, but they were more paper based.
Yes.
Where I need the business to be more automated
Yep.
and use technology, everything from the EPOS system through to stock ordering, right through to um, Microsoft 365, through to using Teams, Zoom, so that we can communicate more easily within
Yeah.
all the different shop units, and we can let the systems work for us, so we're not
Yeah.
beholden to paper, and
Abs-
also for to hit a future sustainability target as well.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. It's so easy to let things like technology sort of fall behind just because it's always worked. We do it this way. So I would imagine a fresh set of eyes can see so much opportunity to improve the processes in the business and the systems to make you complete, way more effective.
Yeah, and bringing all this technology and bringing the skill set of the employees up to date is something I want to strive to. So, I've got shop managers where they're new to being on Teams, so we're having to
Yeah.
teach them how to use Teams.
Yep.
Each shop's been given a tablet where they can use Teams and they can communicate via email to us, which suddenly makes their life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And all the we're just trialing at the moment where all the employees will be clocking in and out in the shops electronically. They've had links sent to their phone so they can use their face or a PIN number.
Brilliant.
So it's catching up, and the reason for that is so that we know from a health and safety perspective, if anything was to happen, we know who's
Yeah.
in that shop.
Absolutely.
And because we need to know that, from being a
Absolutely.
responsible employer. And also, we know that they get paid correctly. We know you've worked those hours
Yeah.
because you clocked in and out at that location. And so we'll minimize mistakes, but also from an administratively perspective, it's easier for us to do the payroll because we've got all the information there. We know who's worked what hours,
Brilliant.
and we're not having to manually count it. And we won't have any paper-based um, rotors anymore
Yeah.
in about another 4 weeks' time. So we say help save the trees and the planet, as
Brilliant.
you say. So all those things, we're catching this business up
Yeah.
over the next 6 to 8 months. We're trying to catch it up with probably by about 24 years or so.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. And what would you say, Gary, are the biggest learnings about business in general, doing it, growing it, delivering it?
Um, is that you've got to sometimes you're forced into make changes, and sometimes you have to manage that change, and it's working
Yes.
out which where you're getting forced, right? How do you implement that change? And if you can manage that change, then manage it. But you've got to realize people's skill sets are totally different, regardless of their ages. And then you've got to be there to support that change as well. So, I want people not to be fearful of any change, but to embrace it, and we'll
Right.
support them where they can. But that also goes for customers as well. We will try new things at Merry England, new products, the new custard tart. We had a new sausage roll launch.
Um,
Sold sausage rolls, and the sausage rolls were they did a poll at in the Huddersfield newspaper, and with us, Greggs and Hadfields, and our sausage roll came top,
Brilliant.
which was brilliant. For us, that was massive.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time they'd ever sold sausage rolls, but to come top first time round within a week and a half or so was really good for us, because it showed that the customers embraced it, but also the staff did. They did, because they baked them as well.
Yep. Yeah, brilliant. Sorry, just so you didn't do sausage rolls before, so you chose to do that, and the first time you go for an order, you're picked up of blimey, that's wonderful.
And it's a high quality sausage roll, and the customers like it. So it showed they were wanting that. There was an appetite for it.
Yep.
So, there's some new things down the line we will implement, but we'll be keeping all the things that have made Merry England famous. So the customers don't need to be fearful. There'll just be new things for the.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. We're adding new things, and everything, everything is enhanced by a bit of innovation as we move forward.
Sorry, I've just lost you a bit there.
That's okay. Can you hear
Headphones
me?
have run out of power, I think.
We did have a little bit of drop of sound at that point. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Brilliant. Cool. Um, so you may be aware, Gary, we're a business coaching organization. So I'm keen to know who the best coaches you've had, whether that's business, sport, life in general. Who've been the biggest influences on you?
The biggest influences on me from a coaching perspective was Diageo, the Guinness who own Guinness, Smirnoff,
Yep.
Baileys, Gordon's. They really invested in you as people.
Brilliant.
And as employees, and all the no expense spared, but they can afford to do that as well.
Yep.
But they you could spend probably 6 weeks of the year, if not 7, on different courses, learning new things, which was amazing. And they actually they want you, they encourage it so much, and you learn so much in that company. It was probably the best 8 years I've spent in learning about new things and how to operate businesses and brands, and how to embrace change.
Wonderful. Great to hear. I think it's obviously it's what we do from a perspective of SME businesses, but and it's quite a newer thing in that world. But certainly, executive coaching has been around for a very long time, and it just helps get the best out of the individuals, doesn't it? And we see from a sports perspective, very few sports individuals or teams are successful as they are without some form of coaching.
No, and the coaching's important. I've had coaches who are inspirational, and coaches who are very hands-on. I usually find a bit of the theory and hands-on coaching works best. It does for me,
Yeah.
with my style of learning.
Yep.
And the coaches who have done that, it's worked better for me. So
Brilliant.
one of the things I'm wanting to introduce, once we sort the infrastructure out at Merry England in terms of IT, etc., is I want to create an academy, a coffee academy.
Great.
So that anybody who joins our business, they will go into the academy first, where they are taught how the tills work, taught how to make coffee, how to get to know our menu, get to taste our menu, get to how to serve customers professionally. Everything from sweeping a floor right through to wiping a table, serving a customer. I need them to be part of the academy, so that they can go into the shop floor with confidence and knowing that they've learned new skills.
Brilliant.
Because everything from serving a customer through to making a cup of coffee, you've got to learn. And if
Yep.
you've not worked in hospitality before, it's new. So I want Merry England to be an employer where people, once they go into our shops, they go, oh yeah, I passed our academy, I've got my certificate, which is great, and they've earned the right to work in that shop and hopefully become a good employee and excel in what they do.
Brilliant.
So we will be creating that academy so that local, anybody who joins our business knows that they're supported in what they do.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And have you picked up any favourite quotes or sayings you kept yourself using a lot, especially in terms of business?
In terms of business, it's my favourite ones are things like try. If you don't succeed, try and try again, right? And I'm a firm believer in that. Trying, and also come to me with solutions and not problems.
Yeah, great.
And that's always been a great one, and I really like that because it empowers other people to think.
Yes.
So everything from my managers through to even the people who are serving teas and coffees, etc. If you see something, come with a solution. I prefer that rather than just saying that's not working or
Brilliant.
Come with a solution. So that's my favourite because it shows that the people are thinking as well.
Yeah.
And I've had a Teams call this morning with all the managers, and the empowerment sits with you. You're the one serving the customers and speaking to them.
Brilliant.
Come to me with the solutions, not just this ain't right or this ain't right or this is good. Tell me why it's good. Tell me what we can do differently.
Brilliant.
And keep yourself grounded. That's another one. Stay grounded. And I'm a firm believer I am grounded. I'm from a large family of 11 kids. We had no choice but to be grounded.
Wow.
So, keep yourself grounded in business and speak to everybody the same. I'll speak to, whether I've dealt with CEOs right through to, people outside sweeping floor and keep yourself grounded. Talk to everybody with the same respect that you want to be them to speak back to you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I was down in our shop the other day and waiting for a cup of tea from one of the members of the team. And I grabbed a brush and swept behind the counter and and they're looking at me and say, "What are you doing?" Need sweeping and you're busy. I'll sweep the floor.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
I don't mind at all. Next day I could be meeting an MD of a supplier. Yeah, that's fine. But keep yourself grounded. Brilliant. And that's what they're the type of sayings I like, which keep it real, really.
I think it's having studied lots of successful people. Humility is something that comes across, almost without exception, of that ability of humility and, as you said, being grounded in terms of, we're all human beings struggling with similar things, just in different circumstances, I guess.
It's like I was in one of our shops the other week, and I went down to see one of the ladies who were working there, and she was working downstairs in the prep area. And it's a lonely place, is the prep area. You're surrounded by fridges and freezers and worktop counters. And she's on her own. And there's I said, "Have you got any music?" She went, "No." So no music, no. There's no speaker. So right, we'll sort that out. So we went and bought her a Bluetooth speaker.
Great.
Took it down. A couple of days later when it arrived, took it down. So there you go. There's a Bluetooth speaker there. So when you're working down here, get some music on. Have you got Spotify? Yes, you have. Right, put your Spotify on your speaker and off you go. And you can listen to music. And she's like, "Really?" I said, "Well, yeah, of course you can."
Brilliant.
So and you know what? And it changes the person. She knows she can talk to me. She's smiling and she went, "I'm really enjoying downstairs. I've got the music now and I'm dancing away. Yeah, that's what I want."
Brilliant.
So and that goes on to the next point quite nicely, where we're going to trial music in one of the shops.
Right. Yep.
Because none of the shops put music on. So I had a meeting with the PPRS people, and I've got an email waiting on an email from them, and then we will try music in one of the shops. And the reason for that is I'm sure our customers would like it.
Yeah.
And the shop managers have told me that the customers, I bet they would. They're saying, yes, so let's trial it and see.
Yeah.
And if it makes those customers makes their day a little bit brighter. I was having a coffee this morning listening to whoever, and it puts a smile on their face. I'm happy with that.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And Gary, what would you say you've learned about yourself throughout your journey so far?
Well, throughout my journey is it's easy to let things drag you down if you let it.
Yep.
And there are times when you'll get into that, can I handle this? Can I do this? And you've got to dig deep and think, right, you know what, we can get through this, and let's put a plan together of how we're going to get through it. So, because you could easily stay in that low space there.
Yes.
And you could let it drag you down, but don't. You just got to think logically, seek advice and guidance if you need to, and think, right, what actions am I going to do to come out of this? And that's what I've learned. You have to dig deep sometimes, and it's lonely sometimes in business, and it's lonely sometimes if you're more at the top.
Absolutely.
If I take, for example, MERRIE England, one of the other businesses we've got, there's a total of 115 employees. So you're conscious that these people are relying on you each week in, week out for a wage and a salary, and so if you think too much about that, you'd never get up on a morning. But you can't. You just got to get on with it. And have clear action plans of what you want to do, and there'll always be a way out. So just have clear actions and make sure you don't be a busy fool, really.
Yes, that's very easy, and it's very easy to be, especially we often find with people that sort of that start a business because they're always doing this. They start in doing mode, and the challenge is getting out of that, because obviously our job as we grow is to become a manager and a leader and owner, rather than a doer of the of the business, if that makes sense. And normally people take longer than they need to get to that point. But it is what it is. So looking forward, Gary, what does the future look like for you guys, and what are some of the main challenges you might see, if any?
So I think the future for us hopefully is looking rosy once we get all the IT infrastructure and processes ironed out. So once we've got that done, then we can get onto the fun things like menu development. An annual marketing calendar for MERRIE England. So I want to add a bit more excitement into the shops where, around Halloween, Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day. So we can start having fun in the shops and investing in some of the capital expenditure they're required to bring some equipment up to date.
Right.
So, and then we can start bringing elements of fun in. So, where the team are concerned, they can have fun with customers. They can dress up in a Halloween costume if they want to. We can incentivize them on whoever sells the most coffees today gets a voucher. So things like this that's what I want to do.
Brilliant.
What are the biggest challenges going forward? Is just making sure that we stay close to the customers on what their needs and wants are, but also that the customers we have got, please try and embrace a little bit more of some of the new things we try, because the things we are trying are, we do want them to taste nice. We want them to look nice, taste nice, be of good quality and value for money, but we won't compromise quality over price. It's got to be of good quality, and try some of the new things we will try, because when we get to menu development, there'll be all the core range there, so they won't see any difference. But there will be one or two new things where they can try as well. So, for example, the sausage rolls, they went down well. The custards went down well.
Brilliant.
So keep trying new things. Who knows, you might like it.
Brilliant. Love it. Love it. And what would you say to anyone that's thinking of going into business right now?
Just make sure that your business plan is robust, that you've thought of every single cost you can, and it's the old adage, you're making sure your cash flow is there, and that you operate business ethically and correctly, and don't try and cut corners, because that just comes back to bite you. And look after your staff and your teams, and who work hard, because everybody tries to work hard. I would hope so. and be mindful of who your customer is, and don't lose touch with them in terms of who they are, what they like. Always listen to always listen to them. And but if you are going into business, it's just ensuring that you've crossed every T and dotted every I regarding it, because you've got your VAT returns, you've got your PAYE to pay, you've got your national insurance. If you're fortunate enough to hit corporation tax, how much is that going to be? You've got your other costs of hiring staff, hiring good staff.
Yes.
And there's if you've got machinery, don't forget to have some money put aside for that, because some things always break. You're going to need new things. So there's a lot of costs there, and it's not easy being in business because there is a lot of costs you have to pay out.
Yes.
Before you start making a profit. And so and keep on top of those costs and manage them. And work with your suppliers to make sure you're getting value for money from your suppliers. But everybody's got to make a margin somewhere. So you can't. You've got to be mindful of that as well. So that's what I would say. But it is just keep on top of your costs and your cash flow.
Brilliant.
And keep that's the main thing.
I would completely agree. It's the as we say, it's it's not even a lack of profit that kills business. It's like a cash, isn't it? I mean, that is the number one across everything. It's even if you're making money, if you're not actually collecting it, then then there's a problem. And finally, what would be the best advice you could give an 18-year-old you if you could go back in time and do so, Gary?
Best advice I'd give an 18-year-old me would be try and work in 5-year chunks.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you can set yourself a 5-year objective, think, right, I want to be here in 5 years.
Yeah.
So that'd be your medium term, and then set yourself an annual goal of what you want to achieve. So, a 12 by 5, I call it. Have a 12 by 5 plan.
Yeah.
And set yourself those goals and objectives, but also make sure you network really well, because you'll be surprised from who you talk to and getting to know people. Don't be shy. Be that person who pops up and tries to meet new people, and embrace change.
Brilliant.
Embrace change as much as you can. Always evolve. Don't sit back. That'd be the best advice.
Brilliant. Well, Gary, that's very sound advice for anybody, not just the 18-year-old you. Thank you so much. It's been really interesting talking today. And for anyone that's interested in getting in touch with you or Merrie England, what would be the best way to do so?
info@merrieengland-com. So that's info@merrie-england.com. I'll always answer every email if it's addressed to me, any letters, everything. I'm very personable. If you saw me in the street, I'm always up, have a chat with me. I'll always listen. We'll keep humble, keep grounded. We're a Yorkshire-based brand, and I want to, take more of Yorkshire into other areas like Lancashire and Midlands, wherever possible.
Brilliant.
Why would we not?
Absolutely. Let's do a bit of invading. That sounds like fun.
I've always thought, sick of things coming from, it's come from down south. No, I tell you what, we'll in the north, we'll take it down to you for a change.
100%.
Let's do that. And when I've been to Northern Powerhouse and Department of Trade and Industry things, it's like when I was launching Skinny, there was like, is this from a southern-based company? What have you? I said, no, it's from the north. It's from our company based in the north.
Brilliant.
Like, really? It's like, yeah, it's a northern-based brand.
There are so many amazing businesses here. I mean, it's an absolute blessing doing what I do, both this and working coaching. I mean, it's just you go into business. I mean, I literally come from a business we interviewed a couple of weeks ago called Nature Raw that do raw dog food. And the growth they're delivering and the vision they've got for the organisation is phenomenal. And it's just like right here, right now. It started with a couple just wanted to make good food for the dogs, and now they're employing, I think, over 40 people. They're just building a new manufacturing facility just outside Wetherby. And they're competing, and they said they're the envy of all their competition. you know, wherever they are in the UK, and it's wonderful. And it's the same, and I'm sure the same is true of you guys. So for now, thank you. Hopefully, we can catch up again in another 6, 12 months and just see the progression of what's going on, see what else is new on the menu.
Yeah,
But for
yeah,
now, thank you so much.
yeah. Welcome, Chris. And if you're passing by, pop in for a coffee.
Well, I'm definitely coming for one of those custard slices. That's you've got me. You've nailed me with that one, Gary. So thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Thank
Brilliant.
you.